Hello and welcome to Bedspreads and Pocketbooks. I am your host, Alfreda Ellington. Now you're saying, Frida, what is Bedspreads and Pocketbooks? Well, the pocketbook is my brain. That's where I take all the information I have in it and I'm going to dump it onto your bedspread. We're going to talk about hot topics. We're going to talk about words of encouragement, Frida Sunshine, what y'all doing. We're going to discuss a variety of things. You're going to have a blast. So come on and join us. Now, if this is your first time joining us, I am so grateful that you're here. You did not have to click on the button to see what we were talking about or anything that was going on, but I'm so glad that you're here. And we got a lot to talk about tonight, y'all. We got a lot to talk about. Lots been going on since the last time I've been on here, and I do want to apologize for that, but we're going to try to get back on a good, steady flow. That's what we're going to try to do, but we got a lot to talk about tonight, y'all. So if this is your first time, take the time out to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Now, if this is like your 6th or 7th time joining us, what you waiting on? What you doing? What you waiting on? Come on and join us. Like, share, and subscribe because I'm happy that you're here. You know we have a good time. You know we have a good time. Take the time out to hit that like, share, subscribe button. Let somebody else know about the show. We got plenty of shows out there for them to watch and catch up with. And I'm going to be putting out new ones. So come on and join us. We're going to have a good time. Guys, we're going to have a good time. Now, we do this thing in segments. And our first segment is going to be, what y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Honey, how's your summer going? How's your summer going? Everybody just yes. How's it going? I know it's hot. I do know that. I know it. I know it's hot, yes. But I enjoy the sun. I do. It makes me feel so good. It does. I love it. I want sunshiny days and rainbows every day. I know that's not possible, but I do enjoy sunshine. I do enjoy it. I enjoy looking at the cumulus clouds. I like seeing no clouds in the sky and the sky is blue. I adore it. I think it's amazing. Yes, it's hot, but I still enjoy it anyway. I try to eat outside as much as I can if it's not at a boil and I feel like I'm going to get sick, any of that. But I like to sit outside. I love to get up and drink my coffee in the morning and sit outside if I can. When I used to have my backyard, in the way that I would love to have it in the mornings. And if it was set up really nice, I love to go out there and sit. But so far, so good for my summer. So far, so good. I've done a family reunion with my family, which was a great time. I've started a new job this summer. So it's a lot of good things and positive things going on with me this summer. I want to know, what are y'all doing? Are you guys, keeping up with the goals that you set for yourself for the summer? Are you doing a little extra walks when the nights cool down? Are you just doing more activities? Are you swimming with your family? Are you fishing? Are you hiking? What are you doing? Are you baking? Are you barbecuing? Are you just trying to stay cool and you're staying on the inside and just trying to beat the heat? I get that too. So I hope your summer is going well and that you are enjoying every bitty piece of it. Every little tiny piece, every morsel of it, just gobbling it all up. So I hope that your summer is going well. Now, the next thing up is on what y'all doing is Biden done dropped out of the race, y'all. As you guys know, Sunday night, Biden dropped out of the race. He has dropped out of the race. And I'm going to say with the help of our fellow Democrats. I don't think that he was worried about Trump at all, saying, Joe's too old, blah, 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 blah. But I do believe his fellow colleagues helped kind of guide him to this decision and talking about donors and all the things and not too worried about the people who voted for him in 2020 and all of that. I don't think they really worried about that. They just felt like he wasn't going to get us to the finish line. I get it. I do. I don't like the fact that he was pushed out because this is the reason why I say I don't like the reason why he's pushed out. Then I'm going to come back. Don't y'all fight me. You'll be like, girl, you got to let him go. He was old. What was he going to do? Give me a minute. Let me talk it out with you. Let's work this thing out together, folks. Let's walk this thing out together. But I felt that he had an administration behind him that had put a lot of things into place. And they were going to guide us through it. I did not feel that he was incompetent, that he could not do it. I do not feel that he was not able to run the country the way he needed to. Yes, he has a speech impediment. He's had it for 40 something years in Congress, almost 50. Everybody knew it. You throw it in with being 83, it's not going to be as well and clear as you want it to be. But at the same time, the mind was still there. He knows what's going on with the country. He knows politics. He knows how to wheel and deal with the foreign dignitaries and do all of the things. But they did not want, I guess, our country to seem weak with an older president. I get it, but I still believe we could have still got him in November. But needless to say, he has dropped out of the race, and now Miss Kamala Harris is now our new incumbent for the 2024 elections, for presidential elections. So congratulations, Miss Kamala Harris. I say her name wrong. My mama calls her Carmela. I call her Kamala. Don't worry about it. I'm trying to get better. But I appreciate her. I like her energy. I feel like she has energized the country. I feel like that people are getting excited. They're getting mobilized. Honey, they had 41,000 women on a conference call to talk about how we're going to raise money to get her where she needs to be. And that is so necessary. They've had a phone call with men. They headed up by Roland Martin, who and a couple of other gentlemen. I think Bakari Sellers, Roland Martin, and someone else, I can't remember, got 20,000 men on the call, and they raised like 1.5 million. So they've been raising all types of money within she announced her running Monday. And here we are on I'm recording this on Thursday. You'll see it on Friday. So it's been less than a full week where she has raised all of this money. People are being energized. They are ready to get things going. People who have never donated to this democratic process before is now throwing money at it and seeing if it will stick and see if it will make a difference in this race. I believe it will be a tight race, but I do believe that Vice President Harris can pull this thing off. I do believe that she has it in her to pull it off. I want you guys as prayer warriors to be praying for her and praying for us as a people. And the reason why I say that is there was a question that was posed, and I even called my girlfriends and discussed this. There was a question that was posed by Bakari Sellers on Vance. The young man that used to work for TMZ. He has a podcast called Higher Learning. Bakari Sellers was on there, and he posed a question to them. He said, now, Vice President Harris is ready to run this race. She's ready. But the question is, are you ready? And meaning African Americans, people of color, because there are so many foul and vile things that happen during this race, that they are cutting below the belt and using their language, hurtful language, and just the lies and the meanness and the venom that is going to be spilled. Are you ready for this? There has been already Fox News on there has been sharing a video that has gone around that it doesn't make sense to me, where a gentleman was saying that she slept her way to the top, used a term that is vile and hurtful, and saying that she started that trend. I won't say what the word is. I'm so tempted to say what it was, but it's so much mean spiritedness and using now they've been using the word colored, all of the things. We've got to, during this time, if you've got to just pull away for a minute and gather yourself back together like we had to do back in 2020, and not take too much in and learn how to take the breaks and not consume so much of the media that's going on. Because, guys, I'm only going to say this only going to get worse. As they get closer and they see her winning in the polls and seeing her pull out all the stops, and after she, stomps a mud hole in him during the debate in September, it's going to be a problem. And she will be everything but a child of God. And they will use her race against her. They will use the fact that she is a woman against her. They do not believe that she belongs in office. So I want us as a people to stay encouraged during these times, because we didn't sign up for this. We just want things to be fair. We don't want Project 2025 in any part of our daily living. We don't want any part of the which we already experience a large consumption of systematic racism. We don't want that to grow any further. So we want to be able to put somebody in place and systems in place that will protect us and keep us from harm, and for women's rights and all of the things that come along with that. We want to be able to protect some of those things. So be encouraged. Stay prayed up. That's what I can say during this election. But we do have a front runner, and we have a new incumbent. I believe that's what they call it. A new incumbent who is already in the White House, who is ready to go. This woman is qualified. She has done what she needed to do to get off on a good start. She's on good footing, and she has good people behind her. So many people have joined her and supported her. President Biden has made it a conscious effort within 20 minutes of announcing that he was not going to do it, that he said he was supporting her to be the next president. And several other Congress people and senators and all of that came out and said, I am with her. Stars, all the things have come out and said that they are with her. So be encouraged. I believe that she can run a good race, and I know that the Lord will protect her. Pray for her protection. Pray for her the protection of her mind. That every day that she is able to die to self and put on the renewing of her mind and trusting that God's going to take care of her. So that's that on that, guys. But we've got a newcomer, and she's coming, and she's ready, and she's fired up, and I'm excited about it. I am excited. Now, there are some more things that go on with this election and that I want to share. Mr. J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance. Who is J.D. Vance? J.D. Vance is Donald Trump, 45, however you want to say his name, 45, former President Donald Trump. That is his current running mate for Vice President, J.D. Vance. He is from Ohio by the way of Kentucky, I believe. He is the one who wrote Hillbilly Elegy, where he talked about his life growing up in the Appalachians. He came down in the summers, my understanding, and talked about his experience, talked about growing up with a mother who was on drugs and a father who left at an early age, and that he pretty much pulled himself up by his own bootstraps. And that's the story that we love to tell. Pulled himself up by his own bootstraps and was able to go to Yale for law school. Met a wife that is a woman of color, and married her, had 3 children by her. And now he is speaking on Miss Kamala, well, I'm going to say her name wrong, Kamala, speaking on her behalf. So Mr. J.D. Vance, while he was doing one of the Trump rallies, he made it a point to say that, pretty much make a point to say that she was not grateful for this country. You know, every time that she has something to say, she's just not grateful about being a citizen here in the United States. So he wants to, I guess that's going to be his new thing to run off of, is that she's ungrateful to be here. She is not proud to be an American, and that she has an ungrateful heart. He says because he has a patriot's heart and he's grateful to be American, but she is not. That's what they love to tell us, that we're ungrateful to be here. We're not grateful to be Americans, even though this country has tore us down as far as they could get us, and we just pop back up like Jack in the Box. But we're not grateful to be here. She doesn't have a grateful heart. I believe Vice President Harris has a heart for this country, and she sees that there may not be so much of a heart for the other ones that are running for the people of this country. And she's trying to change things. So I'm not going to say anything negative about them. I just want to raise everybody's eyebrows to what's going on in this election. We're going to hear a lot of things, a lot of talk, a lot of greasy, grimy, slimy talk. But we're going to push through. We're going to stay near the cross. We're going to take our breaks when needed and move forward. All right? Next thing up on the list, it's still about the race. It's still about the complaints of the people. Vice President Harris decided not to meet with Benjamin Netanyahu, who is the prime minister, on, I believe it was the day before yesterday. He was supposed to do a joint session with Congress and the Senate, I believe. They were going to have a joint session, and he was going to share his thoughts about what is going on in his country. And she decided to miss that and speak to the women of Zeta Phi Beta, as she should have, to speak to the women in blue who have her back, who support her. And she decided to do that. So Fox News wanted to say, well, she hasn't done her job. Meet with a sorority that women who are of color and speak to them, and not take care of the business of the people. These women have supported her. She's going to show up. We shouldn't even be welcoming Netanyahu, I'm probably saying his name wrong and I apologize, even in the White House or even near Congress, but yet here we are. So she took her stand and said what she wanted to do. You will not run this. As she wore her tan suit, paid homage to President Obama in her tan suit that they were so about when he wore the tan suit and looked fabulous while doing it. Walking fast, speaking fast, all the things, tossing that bob that she has, tossing that flat on around, looking amazing, going to see the women of Zeta Phi Beta who have supported her. And look here, ladies, Zeta Phi Beta, if I've said anything wrong, look here, I don't mean it. It's all in love. If I said her name wrong or anything, I appreciate y'all. It's all in love. So, but she went to go speak to you guys because we are supporting her. Women are supporting her, and they're taking the time out to support. Women everywhere of all races are out to support, and that's where she's going, is to deal with the people who have her back and that are supporting her. The next item up on the agenda, I'm going to wrap it up what y'all's doing on a little bit tougher note, but I do believe we all need to be aware, if you are not aware, of a young lady by the name of Sonia Massey from Illinois. 36-year-old Sonia Massey. Miss Sonia Massey was murdered by the hands of the Illinois Police Department. She had called the police because she heard some intruders around her home and she was afraid. She called the police. It took her a while to get to the door, and when she got to the door, she was met by 2 police officers who asked her what took her so long to get to the door. They said they waited for over 3 minutes, and it took her a while, but it was 1 o'clock in the morning. She had night clothes on when she did answer the door. She had a robe on, had a gown on, had her hair tied up, so she was settled down for bed, but she heard noises. She called the police. When she got into the home, there was questions asked of her. They asked her what her last name was. She was hesitant about giving her last name, but with a little bit of coaxing, she did give them her last name. They asked for her ID in return for her hesitancy and all of that. And so she was letting them know that she had some papers that she wanted to show them, and they were rushing her and just like, do one thing at a time, all the things, trying to keep her focused to get her badge out of her purse, her ID out of her purse, all the things. And she eventually got to that. But at the same time, there was a pot of water boiling on the stove. And they asked her what that was, asked her to go turn it off. She then in turn goes to turn the pot off. While she went to pick the water up off of the stove, one of the officers begins to back up. She said, "Where are you going?" And he's like, "Well, you got that hot pot of water. I'm going to move back." And so she was like, "Well, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And the gentleman hollered out, "You effing B. You don't rebuke me," or whatever he said, and said, "I will shoot you in your effing face." And proceeds to, as she ducks down, drops her oven, puts the pot on the stove, drops her oven mitts, ducks down with her hands up. He shoots her in the face 3 times. 3 times. And then proceeds to tell the officer what he saw he didn't see. Said that she was going to lunge at me with a pot of water. She was coming at me. The woman had set the pot on the stove and had 2 oven mitts in her hands and proceeds to drop them down to the ground. So that gentleman is now currently in jail. I do not have his name. I have no desire to actually share his name. You've seen his face all over the news. You feel free to take time to look it up on social media. Pray for this family. They buried her, I believe, on yesterday. Of course, Benjamin Crump was involved. There will be more details about this situation in coming days. Until Freedom is now involved. Linda Lasore and also Tamika Mallory and my son are a part of this investigation and getting justice for this young woman. Also, it's Ben Crump and local activists. So just be in prayer for this family to make sure that justice is served for this young woman. Miss Massey, heartbreaking story. So sad. So let's just be encouraged. Let's try to encourage this family as much as possible. Very, very sad, very sad story. So I pray that justice is served. The gentleman is now currently in jail with no bail set, no bail amount, no bond set, and in hopes that he will be taken to court and tried, and justice will be served, because we serve a God of justice. All right. All right. The next item up on our topics is not to get in your business, but are you being kind? Are you being kind? That is my question for you. During this season, it's a political season. It's hot outside. We're working every day. We're trying to go on vacation. We're trying to finish things up before the school year starts, because school's starting back for some folks next week. The week after that, our school's starting here in Louisville, Kentucky. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of hustling and bustling going on, trying to get prepared for fall, trying to do all the things. We're spending money we really ain't got to get our kids ready and prepared for school. We're doing so many things, trying to take care of us in the midst of an election season, and listening to the venomous things that are being said, and watching so many things and mean things happening on the TV scene with innocent people being murdered and all these things that are happening. I just am curious to know, how are you treating each other? Are you being kind? Are you taking the time out to consider the feelings of others that you are around? Are you taking that time out to say, how are you doing? Can I do anything for you? Do you need anything? Or just giving that warm smile that we talked about before, how a smile can change up a day. Because sometimes we can be so engulfed in what we've got going on that we don't take the time out to just give a friendly smile, or just a warm look, or just an encouraging word, or just a friendly, how are you doing today? Are we taking the time out to be kind? It's just something simple. I see a lot of shirts that say be kind. I think I'm going to get me one too, if I can find one that I enjoy. And just, it says be kind. Take the time out to be kind. Take that time out, because there's not a lot of kindness lately being shown. Even with our personal hustle and bustles, sometimes we can be short with people, a little bit on edge with folk. But take that time out to be kind. I just want to put that in your ears, folks. Just wanted to put that in your beautiful ears. The next item up on the agenda is wifey's thoughts. Wifey's thoughts. Wifey's thoughts. Wifey's thoughts. And as I go and pull up my word and get my word prepared for what we're about to dig into in wifey's thoughts, empty nesters. How many of you guys are about to be empty nesters? Raise your hand. I have a junior. I'm going to have a junior this year. I already have a young man who has graduated, pretty much uses this as a sleeping spot, but it's just gone all the time. And so now, and you know, my junior is pretty self-sufficient and doesn't need mama as much. He needs me for the money, but he doesn't need me to hold his hand through everything that is going on. Mama and daddy, I'm not just going to say myself, not at all. He needs his mama and daddy for the funds, to do the things that he wants to do and buy the things that he wants, because my son likes to look nice and smell good and all the things. So can I have, and make sure he's fed and all of that. But he's pretty self-sufficient other than that. But he does need that ride because he doesn't have his license yet. But other than that, he's pretty self-sufficient. So he's got one more year. And my hopes is that he goes off to college or has some little career path that he set on and that he can go and be free. But how does this Frida tie into wifey's thoughts? Well, after the kids are gone, and they've been here with you for 18 years, these kids have come and jammed up your plans for 18 years. Now you free. What y'all gonna do? What you gonna do, Frida? I don't know. You got this husband sitting here, and he's looking at you, and you looking at him, and y'all looking at each other like, what we gonna do now? What is there to talk about besides the kids? What are we gonna do now? There was an interesting demonstration. I'm sure you guys have seen it on social media where there's a pastor on the stage and he tells the husband and wife to come on stage and just line up beside each other. So they put the husband stood on one side, the two kids in the middle, and the wife is on the end. And they're like two little bookends are the parents and the kids are in the middle. And the pastor pointed out that this was incorrect, wrong. This is the problem with marriages. He said that you put a wedge in between you and your spouse for 18 years, and then when they're off and gone, you take them out of the middle. Here you are still sitting like two bookends and nothing in the middle. There's no conversation. There's no place to go. There's no nothing. So the question is, what are you doing to make sure your bookends come together? That you stop putting the kids in the middle and you start taking time out to spend with your spouse. So I found this scripture, Hebrews 13:8. Hebrews 13:8. And it says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Frida, how does this tie into what's being said? He was the same when you married him. Jesus Christ was. How he brought you this man who was grinning and skinning and wanting to date you and wanting to hold your hand and kiss on you and all the things. That's the same man that Jesus brought to you. This is the way I'm going to interpret this for today. He's the same. And the same God that brought you that man then, he's going to bring you back to that man again when it's time for you guys to start doing your dating times again. Start loving life again. Start seeing what's going on in the city again or the world again and travel and doing all the things. He's there. Take Jesus with you when you guys decide to come back together and start doing things just for yourselves or just for the two of you, or when you just starting date night. Take him with you. He's the same God who was there in the beginning to put you two together, that's going to see you through all the way to the end. He's the same God. He's the same God as of yesterday, today, and forevermore. And he's going to keep you guys together. So seek him out. Seek him out while you are trying to find out what it is as an empty nester that you guys need to do to come back together, to make this marriage be more romantic, to make these things, your marriage, be more spontaneous. He is there. He is there to guide you as he guided you through your dating times. He's there to guide you through your dating times with your spouse now. He can do it. Seek him out. Seek God out on putting you two back together. Like, I don't even feel like I don't even know him no more. I feel like I don't even know him. We just been doing our own thing for so long. It's just, well, seek him out. Seek God out. Same God who put you two together, he'll keep you together too. Seek him out. Ask him, Lord, what should I do? It's just going to be us. I want that fire back. I want that desire back. I want the fire and desire, is the way Rick James used to sing it. And what was it? Rick James and you know what her name is. Y'all know what her name is. Honey, when they just sang that song, Love Them and Leave Them. And Fire and Desire, honey. Yeah. I forgot what the girl's name is. And I like her, honey. She saying square biz. Y'all know who she is. I know y'all saying it. Yeah. But that's what, I want that fire and desire back. Seek the Lord. Like, she ain't the same no more. I mean, man, she nagging all the time, telling me what to do. She's the same one that was skinning and grinning with you and looking like this every time you said hi. What you doing? You look pretty, girl. She's the same one. You that same guy. Now, we've changed. We've all changed because we've all gotten older. Mindsets have changed. All the things. But that how you get them, that's how you're going to keep them. Dating and flirting and seeking them out and all that stuff and having a good time and relearning each other. Learning the new person that you're dealing with, the more mature person that you're dealing with, taking the time out, but make it something so exciting that I'm learning somebody new. Instead of going to find somebody new, you learn the new one that you got at home with you. How's that sound? So let's read the scripture one more time just to seal the deal, all right? Let's seal the deal. Hebrews 13:8 says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's the same God that hooked you up in the beginning. He's the same God that's going to keep you in the end, especially in this marriage thing, because he loves marriage and he hates divorce. So just wanted to leave that with you. All right, guys, next item up on the agenda, last but not least, Frida Sunshine. Woo! Being on assignment. Being on assignment. I am now looking at things a tad bit differently as I go to work. Yes, I am looking at things differently. I have always gone to work just to go to work, to make that check and do what I need to do. But now I started thinking about my job differently. I've heard this so many times in my coming up in Bible studies and Sunday schools, that, you're on assignment. You're on when you go to work. I've heard all the things. Never took it into consideration until now. And since I've had that mindset, I've had the opportunity to talk about my Savior on my job in this past month and a half than I think I ever have. I've always shared. I've always prayed with people on my job. I've always had, God has given me opportunities, but they've been spread it out. But I mean, baby, I've been able to talk about the Lord quite freely in my time, but not in a point of disruption. But I've had people just come up to me and say things and ask things, and I've been able to encourage, make it quick, make it short, and be able to go back and do my work and do my business. And God has opened up those doors for me, and I'm just so grateful. So when I go to work, I think about being on assignment. And whether I'm sharing with somebody or whether I'm just walking out my daily adventures on my job, I'm now thinking about me being on assignment, how I carry myself, how I respond, how I react, all the things as I'm learning my position. And God has been amazing the whole time. He has given me opportunities to share the love of Christ. And I am so thankful and so grateful. So I want to read you the scripture. Let's look at Matthew 22:37 through 39. It says, Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all of your heart and with all of your soul and with all of your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. I am loving the people that I am with. I am asking about their lives and taking the time out to encourage people. People are shocked when somebody asks them about, how's that grandbaby of yours? How's that? I heard you talking about, this is happening. How's that going? Are you doing okay? Just just simple things. Are you okay today? How I heard you said you had a doctor's appointment. I pray that all went well. Don't have to dig into anything. Just thinking about you. You know, I remember you said this. I hope it goes well for you today. Just laying out that little bit, that little bit of light, sprinkling that little bit of salt. I was teasing my husband. He was telling my son, we were out in the yard putting out mulch, honey, in my work clothes, 22 bags of it. Don't worry about it. On a slanted hill. Don't worry about it. So you get kind of slap happy because you're hot and you're tired and you're sweaty and I'm in a work top. Don't worry about that. Bad combination. But either way, my husband said, go and lay that over there by the salt. Telling my son to lay some dirt, big bag of dirt that we didn't use or open. Lay it over there by the salt. And I said, guess what, y'all? We the salt of the earth. We the salt of the earth. We put out the seasonings on things. Baby, are you the salt of the earth? That's what I asked him. He looked at me with sweat dripping down his face. He said, yeah. Yeah. And we laughed and we chuckled, just being silly. But just a reminder, we are the salt of the earth. We are supposed to season up the room. We add flavor to any space if we do what's right. And that's what we're supposed to do, is to love our neighbors as ourselves. Love thy neighbor as yourself. You got to love yourself first so you can love somebody else. So take the time out to see about your coworkers, the ones we spend 8 hours a day with. That's more really than we spend with our families. We get a good 6 hours home with our family, maybe 7, depends on what time you go to bed. We don't get that much time with our families as we do as the folks at work. Check on them. Just ask about them. You don't have to get all in everybody's business. It's not for us to know everybody's business. It's for us to just check on them so we know what to pray for and how to pray. Just to be that light, to be that salt, to be that seasoning. All right? So that's it for tonight, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time. I've enjoyed you. I hope you've enjoyed me. Come back next week. We're going to have a beautiful time. I love you guys. You can't do nothing about that. So I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.